go green, there is no planet B. So this is most important line nowadays and very relevant to the topic today. Myself, Juna Prabha Devi, as introduced by Dr. Pranab Sharma sir. I will be the moderator and I am a research scholar in IIT Guwahati, and my PhD topic is very much relevant, and I'm working on climate change assessment in areas of Eastern Himalayas. So here I welcome everyone in this international webinar on sustainable development, geographical perspective. And as we know, this webinar is organized by the Department of Geography, Morigaon College, and the Alumni Association of Department of Geography, Morigaon College. We have some personalities, very important two personalities in geography background. Here we have Dr. Jayanta Kumar Rautre, Professor Emeritus, Regional Development and Disaster Management, Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok, Thailand, and Dr. Narayan Chandra Jana, Sir, Professor, Department of Geography, the University of Bardhaman, West Bengal, India. And we have our chief patron, Professor Jogen Chandra Kalita. I think he's not present here. President, Governing Body, Morigaon College. And Dr. Leela Kanta Bhatthakur, sir, Principal, Morigaon College, as he introduced himself, as the patron of today's event, and respected teachers. And I welcome everyone, the teachers, students, and alumni. Heading towards the session, we will get started with the event. I feel privileged to call upon Dr. Leela Kant Bhatthakur sir, who is the principal of Morigaon College, to address his welcome speech. Please, sir.
Okay, thank you, Zona. A very good morning to everyone. Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Jayant Kumar Rautre, Professor Emeritus, Regional Department and Disaster Management, Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok, Thailand. Respected Chief Guest, Dr. Narayan Chandra Jana, Professor, Department of Geography, the University of Bardhaman, West Bengal, India. Honorable IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Ranjit Kolita, HOD Department of Geography, Dr. Lahakar, and other faculty members of the department, respected participants, teacher participants, scholars, and my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this international webinar organized by the Department of Geography on sustainable development in geographical perspectives. I am extremely delighted for incorporating me with this session, and happy to share with all the participants that the Morigaon College is one of the premier higher education institutions in the state of Assam, offering BA, BSc, BCom, BCA, postgraduate program in zoology and geography, postgraduate diploma in disaster management, several BVOC programs, where 2,500 students are pursuing their degrees and higher degrees in this institution. Our college already crossed 57 glorious years, and the district which our college belongs to is a symbol of blended cultural of various ethnic groups. The district is also famous for one-horned rhinoceros. To promote the research culture, the college has been organizing seminar, workshop, conference, etc. in recent past few decades. The Department of Geography is one of our best departments of the college, and it imparts PG program in the year 2017. This is the memorable events for the department. The topic of the webinar is directly related to nation building process, and I believe that it will be able to map the actual route of the sustainable development. I sincerely offer my heartfelt gratitude to the internationally renowned personality, Professor J.K. Rotary and Professor N.C. Jana for giving us their precious time despite their busy schedule. I also offer my thankfulness to all the members of the organizing committee, including the coordinators of the committee, Dr. Pranabjyoti Sharma, Dr. Maino Goswami, and the members of the Alumni Association for their noble endeavor for holding this webinar. I must thank to all the participants for their presence and hope they will be benefited from the deliberation of our renowned resource person. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we will be heading towards the presentation, presentation space, especially uh, we have with us Dr. Jayantal K. Rautri, sir. He'll be presenting on the topic geographical perspective of sustainable development goals, that SDGs. And I would like to introduce him with his very sound and very strong profile. So here is his profile. Like, he is currently holding the title of Professor Emeritus at Indian Institute of Technology, AIT, Thailand, since September 2018, after serving this institute for 3 decades as assistant, associate, and full and adjunct professor during June 1988 to December 2018. Formerly, he worked at the Utkal University Department of Geography as lecturer and reader, and National Institute of Rural Development as Assistant Director of Integrated Area Planning during 1979 1980. He served AIT with multiple responsibilities as Academic Senate Chair, Director of ARC MDG, Coordinator of Academic Programs, and many other positions, in addition to his regular teaching, research, training, and consulting community services. He has more than 150 publications, book chapters, journal articles, including international publications and others. He has guided 30 doctoral and 147 master thesis candidates. He is a reviewer of research articles of about 30 international journals, books, and grant proposals. His area of academic research is very vast. He has expertise in regional planning, rural development, disaster risk reduction and management, and climate change related to socio-economic adaptation issues. He was educated in Ravenshaw College, Utkal University, and IIT Kharagpur. He is known internationally for his academic and professional contributions, as we can see his profile. He had project activities with FAO, UNDP, ILO, UNEP, UN Women, ASEN, Asian, and many other organizations. And for the students, I would like to say these all are international organizations. And he is a fellow of Royal Geographical Society, London, and fellow of Institute of Town Planners, India, and member of 21 professional and scientific societies. So I would like to call upon Rautri sir to deliver his presentation, and we would really hope to like his speech. And I would request all the participants here, as we have very short time, we would like to request all the participants that keep their questions with them till the presentation of the two renowned presentations. After that, we will take the questions because we have very limited time. So, sir, please, Rautri sir. Sir,
I have not seen him. Has he joined? Actually, I'm not sure.
I don't think he has joined, sir.
Bulbul, Bulbul,
Yeah, Professor
Bulbul.
Professor Rautre has some technical problem,
Oh,
so he will be joining little bit later. And actually, the lecture has been designed in such a way that geographical perspective of sustainable development goal, and I will be delivering a lecture on touching sustainable development, but in a regional perspective. So he suggested me to deliver lecture first, then
Okay, okay, no issue, sir, no issue. Actually,
Yes, sir.
Juna Prabha,
Yes, sir.
so you please introduce Jana sir, and then please request him to deliver his lecture before Raute sir. Okay,
Okay, sir. Fine.
because Raute sir is not here.
Okay, sir. Fine. Sorry, participants, we have some technical issues. So we are shuffling the presenters. So we have Professor Narayan Chandra Jana sir. He will be delivering his speech where he has an expertise on the natural resource management, livelihood security, and sustainable development in Northeast in a geographical perspective. I would like to introduce him. He's an applied geographer with a postgraduate and doctoral degrees in geography, postgraduate degree in disaster mitigation, and PG diploma in sustainable rural development and diploma in tourism studies. He has contributed about 100 research papers published in various national and international journals and edited volumes. He has authored three books entitled The Land Faceted Appraisal and Management with Professor N.K. Day, Transformation of Land, Physical Properties and Development Initiative, that is the second book. And third book is Tsunami in India, Impact Assessment and Mitigation Strategies, jointly edited seven books entitled Number One, Disaster Management and Sustainable Development, Emerging Issues and Concerns with Professor Rajesh Anand and Dr. Sudhir Singh. Second, Human Resources with Professor Sudesh Nagia and Professor R.V. Bhagat. Third book, West Bengal Geospatial Issues as a Chief Editor. And fourth, Resources, Development Issues and Concern with L. Shivaramkrishnan and others. And fifth, he has a very long list of books. The Population Dynamics in Contemporary South Asia, Health, Education and Migration with Professor Anuradha Banerjee and Dr. Vinod Kumar Mishra. Sixth book, Livelihood Assessment Through Agriculture, Tourism and Health with Dr. Anju Singh and Professor R.B. Singh. Climate, Environment and Disaster in Developing Countries with Professor R.B. Singh. Dr. Jana was also actively engaged in postdoctoral research and teaching in the Center for the Study of Regional Development, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi for 5 years. He was the coordinator, Eastern India of the International Geographical Union Commission on Geography of Commercial Activities for 1922 and 1996. He is a life member of 24 academic societies of repute. He was the vice president of National Association of Geographers, India, that is we call NAGI, Delhi 2011 to 2014 and 2019 to 20, and was the convener of 33rd Indian Geographic Congress 2011, 35th Indian Geographers Meet 2013, and 16th IG India International Conference 2020. Dr. Jana was the deputy coordinator of UGC SAP DRS program 2012 to 2017 and was the coordinator of DST FAST program 2012 to 2013. He is the member of editorial board of Indian Journal of Landscape Systems and Ecological Studies, Kolkata, and member of the advisory board of the journal Earth Surface Review, Gorakhpur. He was a secretary of Institute of Indian Geographers 2016 to 2019 and founder secretary of Association of Bengal Geographers. He is also the editor of newly launched geographical journal Contemporary Geographer. He is the member of PG Board of Studies in Geography in Kazi Nazrul University, Asansol, Bankura University, and Kuch Bihar, Panchnan Burma University, as well as BRS member in geography in the University of Gorbanga, Bankura University, Kazi Nazrul University, West Bengal. Dr. Jena visited Nepal in 1994, Sri Lanka 2012, Bangladesh 2013, and Thailand in the same year 2013, Russia in 2014, China 2016, Japan 2016, and Thailand 2017 for various academic purposes. He also delivered about 100 lectures in academic staff college, sponsored seminars, conferences, and various academic departments of various different universities. He has successfully guided 11 MPhil and 11 doctoral dissertations. He has completed one major research project entitled Tribal Livelihood and Sustainable Development in Mayurbhanj, Orissa, sponsored by ICSSR, and all small research project on wastelands sponsored by NRDMS of DST. He has also conducted one research methodology course sponsored by ICSSR. His areas of research interest cover applied geomorphology, hazards and disasters, environmental issues, land use, and rural development. Professor Jena has been nominated as steering committee member in IGU Commission on Research Methods in Geography. Currently, Dr. Jena is professor, former head in the Department of Geography, the University of Burdwan, West Bengal, India. Thank you, sir. We have we are very privileged to have you here. I would like to request you to take over the session, please, sir.
Uh, I mean, is Professor Judge Kautra joined? No, not yet.
I think not yet, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
No, not yet. Okay. Okay, thank you for this generous introduction. Uh, Namaskar from the University in West Bengal, because little bit I mean, except the University of Calcutta, the then Chief Minister established 4 universities outside Calcutta. One is Bardhaman, second is Kalyani, third is North Bengal, and fourth is Jadavpur, in the year 1959 or 60. So this is, except Kolkata, this is one of the oldest universities in West Bengal, and it is located in West Bengal. Respected Professor Yogendra Kalita, President of the governing body of Morigaon College, Principal Sahab Dr. Leela Bhatt Thakur, he is the patron of this international webinar. Dr. Pranabjyoti Sharma and Dr. Mainu Goswami, joint coordinator of the international webinar. So I would like to, initially I thought upon that I should deliver a lecture on the disaster management and sustainable development, which I used to deliver in many of the international webinar or offline conference. But I thought I should talk about the Northeast, because which is the storehouse of resources, and that is from the geographical perspective. From the geographical perspective, Northeast, I mean the Seven Sisters, they have given us the natural beauty and plentiful of resources. In spite of its beauty and plentiful of resources, Northeast has not been developed in proper perspective, which is the, the point of concern for the administrative machinery of the Northeast and even the government of it. So let me share my lecture. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the similar type of lecture I had delivered in 2021, organized by the Mizoram University. So I thought this lecture should be shared in Morigaon College. So I have a little bit modified this lecture. So I would like to share some of the knowledge because you might have adequate knowledge on Northeast than me, but I have tried to explore the resource base and the status of development in Northeast. I mean, this is a point of concern, or uh, this is a debate for the development panorama of the northeastern region, India. So, natural resource management, livelihood security, and sustainable development in Northeast, the geographical perspective. As I have already pointed out, that from the geographical point of view, Northeast gives us enormous beauty. The Seven Sisters have given us the enormous beauty and plentiful of natural resources. But where lies the problem? That Northeast still not in the proper perspective of development panorama. So these are the outline of the discussion. I mean, in part one, I will share the necessity and relevance of sustainable natural resource management, meaning of NRM, management approaches. So these are nothing but the conceptual frame or the theoretical base for natural resource management. And part two is devoted entirely to the Northeast. To see the world population figure. I mean, there is a prediction that by 2083, the population figure will be reached by 10 million. Now, by 2025, the population will reach 8 billion. So, keeping in view the large number of population, there is a problem in the means of livelihood, which some parts of the world are still suffering. You just imagine how the South African countries still they are suffering from the means of livelihood, particularly food. There is $1 million questions on the food security. So this snapshot gives you the point of concern how the Asian countries are giving the number of population. Asian countries are the largest share it gives to world population. I mean, you see the red patch. I mean, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, China, Japan, Indonesia. Compared to the American, South America, North America, or European countries, Asian countries, they share the largest population to world figure. So this is a point of concern for the Asian countries. And I would like to share one thing, that the countries which are located between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, they are the worst sufferers because they represent low economy, dense population, and these are the countries which usually suffers from the natural hazards. So this is a sumo emoji. This emoji, it indicates many things. It gives you a signal how, I mean, the circular portion below, which represents the earth, and the upper portion is population. How the world population by 2050 will be a burden on the mother earth. So this is a clear-cut signal, dangerous signal for the mother earth. So we have to be cautious on that. So whether mother earth is overburdened, yes, it is overburdened. Keeping in view not merely the number of population, but the increasing needs, desires, and aspirations. I used to say that people were earlier, our forefathers, our ancestors, they were satisfied with the fulfillment of 5 basic needs. I mean, food, shelter, and dress, and minimum health care, they were satisfied. Now, with the passage of time, I mean, I am the 4th or 5th generation of my family, so we are not satisfied with the fulfillment of 5 basic needs. But I have certain desires, and that desires has been switched over to aspiration. So there is no one thing I have shared in many of my lectures in many places, whether offline or online, that there is no harm to be aspirant, but there is a harm to be greedy. If you become greedy, then that would be harmful for the society. If you become aspirant, then there is no harm to be aspirant. So keeping in view the existing natural resource base, uh, the demands, desires, and aspirations have been increased, and that has been a burden for the Mother Earth. Overpopulation as compared to resource base. So see, uh, population has been increased. Their demands, desires, and aspirations have been increased. But there has been scarcity, there has been dearth of natural resource base, which is also a point of concern. So little bit about natural resource management, because some of the participants, they're research scholars or PG students, whatever. So some of the elementary aspects I would like to share, that what is natural resource management? Because these natural resources, I mean land, water, soil, plants, and animals, with a particular focus on how management affects the quality of life for both present and future generations. So we are thinking not merely for the present generation, but we have to think for the future generations to come. And this natural resource management deals with managing the way in which people and natural landscapes interact. It brings together land use planning, water management, biodiversity conservation, and future sustainability of agriculture, mining, tourism, fisheries, and forestry. It also recognizes that people and their livelihoods rely on the health and productivity of one landscape. So landscape diversity is there, landscape ecology is there. We are ignoring the ecological conditions. Yesterday, uh, I have participated in one research level presentation, that traditional ecological knowledge. Now we are back to the pavilion. We are emphasizing on the traditional ecological knowledge, or inspired by the development intoxication, we have forgotten our landscape ecosystem. Our ecosystem panorama we have forgotten. And their actions as steward of the land play a critical role in maintaining this health and productivity. So whatever we do, we have to keep in mind the biodiversity. We have to keep in mind the species diversity. Otherwise, the present generation and the future generation, there will be a threat. Natural resource management specifically focuses on a scientific and technical understanding of resources and ecology and life supporting capacity of the resource. So there should be a resilience capacity. We should not intervene at a scale to the natural phase that it will take its rebound. Because now we are very much experienced about the floods in eastern India and northeast India. I mean, Assam, West Bengal, they are standing in a common platform that both these states usually suffer from large floods. But this is not the natural flood, but due to increasing human intervention in the riverine phase, now the ecology, river ecology or rivers has been disturbed, and the river is taking its rebound. And there are certain management approaches. I mean, natural resource management issues are inherently complex as they involve ecological cycles, hydrological cycles, climate, animals, and plants, and geography. And natural resource management also has to manage various stakeholders and their interests. We are the stakeholders. We, the people, the different sections of people who are living in the society, we are the stakeholders. We have certain interests, and there to meet the interest of the stakeholder, there will be certain policies and politics also. Because now we are dealing with the politics of resources. How the resources will be shared between the stakeholders. There is politics at the international level, at the national level, and at the regional level also. and there is geography, there are geographical boundary, but as such there is no boundary, because now globe is now considered as the village. We are now believing in the concept of global village. Economic implications. So not merely you only carry out the economic development, but you have to keep in mind the ecosystem panorama, the ecological health of your area. And after the United Nations conference, I mean, even said, held in Rio de Janeiro 1990, most nations subscribe to new principles for the integrated management of land, water, and so there should be a panorama, there should be a consistency in the development, there should be a balance in the environment, because the major resources we have, that is land, water, and the forest, and air also. So whatever development we are going to carry out, there should be a balance between all the major resources. And there are various approaches applied to natural resource management. The top-down approach, command and control, community-based natural resource management, adaptive management, precautionary approach, and integrated natural resource. So there is, I mean, top-down, I mean, suppose how the resource will be managed in Northeast, that will be decided uh, in an AC room in five-star hotel in New Delhi. But Delhi, I mean, if it is controlled from Delhi, from the central body, then that would be the top-down approach. But now we are believing in the bottom-up approach. I mean, the stakeholders' participation is very essential in the decision-making process. How the localized resources will be managed locally, and that would benefit the stakeholders of the concerned region. Because we are giving much more emphasis on community-based natural resource management. Because we have the community. I am Assami. I am living in Assam. The Mizo people, he or she is living in Mizoram. So what are the diversity of resources he or she knows, and how it can benefit the society, there to be involved in this decision. There should be certain adaptive management, precautionary approach. I mean, whether there is any problem for the environment if development is carried out. And I mean, last answer is the integrated natural resource management. So community-based natural resource management has certain conservation objectives and economic benefits, and there are certain key assumptions uh, that locals are better placed to conserve natural resources. Because how to conserve the natural resources of a particular area, the stakeholders of the local area, he or she knows better. And if benefits exceeds the costs of conservation, and people will conserve a resource that is linked directly to their quality of life. So for my survival, there is a compulsion, because there is the statement which I have given in many of my lectures. Because we are now going through a time where there is an urge for economic development and compulsion for environmental protection. So we have to carry out the development to meet the demands, desires, and aspirations of the people. But on the contrary, there is a compulsion for the environmental protection. We have to use the traditional ecological knowledge, tech, because if we ignore the ecosystem of a particular area, then there will be a threat for not merely for the present generation, but the future generations to come. So local people knows the nature of resources, and they know how to conserve it for their betterment of life. The United Nations advocates CBNRM in the Conservation on Biodiversity and the Convention to Combat Community-Based Natural Resource Management. United Nations is also giving much more. And uh, CBRM is based particularly on advocacy of non-governmental organizations. So in addition to the involvement of government machinery, there should be involvement of non-profit organizations which can carry out the development with social justice and environmental management agenda. Now, Now there is a debate that whether all the development fruits are being accrued by the all sections of the people. I mean, development with the human face. We are now talking about development with the human face, development with social justice. That means the development fruits should be accrued by the all sections of people, irrespective of caste, creed, and religion, whatever. The benefits should be accrued by the all sections of people living in it. So development not merely carried out for the development only, but it should have human face. You should be distributed with social justice. So now we are talking about the distributive justice, adaptive management. This approach includes recognition that adaptation occurs through a process of plan, do, review, act. I mean, it also recognizes 7 key components. That is determination of scale, collection and use of knowledge, information management, monitoring and evaluation, risk management, community engagement, opportunity for collaboration. So you have to, at what level, hello, is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Please continue, sir.
whenever you are carrying out development, you have to keep in mind the scale, whether it is the regional scale or local scale. Now, uh, development is being carried out at the local level. I mean, we are giving much more emphasis on watershed management. We are giving much more emphasis on wetland management. We are giving much more emphasis on wasteland management. So you have to keep in mind the scale. I mean, at what level you are carrying out the development, and there should be knowledge. And usually, uh, local stakeholders, so local people who would like to get the benefits of the development, they must have knowledge about their local resources. And there should be information. Whatever information you have collected and whatever informations are available, that should be managed properly. And there should be monitoring and evaluation. I mean, whether the development is properly carried out or not, there should be a constant vigilance or monitoring and evaluate whether the development benefits are being accrued by the all sections of it. And there is risk, each and every, behind each and every development, there is a risk. So that's why now the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction between 2015 and 2030 to achieve the sustainable development goals by 2030. So there is risk. Each and every development, there is risk. So whether, how, I mean, any development in any particular area, whatever may be the scale, how much risk will be generated, that has to be kept in mind. And community engagement, definitely, we have to involve the stakeholders, local stakeholders of community, so that they can take the decision. In the decision-making process, community engagement is must, and we have to explore whether there is an opportunity for collaboration. Now, I mean, in flood management in Ganga, I mean UP, Bihar, and West Bengal, through which the Ganga is flowing, they should have interstate initiative for collaboration. In case of development, you have to explore the opportunities for collaboration. Precautionary approach. The precautionary principle or precautionary approach to risk management states that whether an action or policy has a suspected risk of causing harm to the public or to the environment. So, at any cost, environment should not promote the environmental natural degradation or ecology is at the risk. So, at any cost, we have to maintain the ecological panorama. And policymakers to justify discretionary decisions in situations where there is a possibility of harm from making a certain decision. So development decisions should not be such that it will generate a harm to the society. So that has to be kept in mind. Integrated natural resource management. Integrated natural resource management, it is a process of managing natural resources in a systematic way, which includes multiple aspects of natural resource use, that is biophysical, sociopolitical, and economic meet production goals of producers and other directives, food security, profitability, risk aversion. So now we are going through a time, uh, I mean, I'd like to request all the participants and the faculties and the intellectuals who are present in this international webinar. Now we are going through a very critical juncture of crisis. We do believe in the principle of profit maximization. We do believe in the principle of give and take policy. We do believe in the principle of use and throw. So these are the principles we do believe, because we do believe in short-term benefit. We usually we do not believe in long-term benefit. I mean, that is the problem. That is the $1,000,000 questions against the sustainability. It focuses on sustainability and at the same time tries to incorporate all possible stakeholders. Because that means it is promoting the bottom-up approach. The decision should go from bottom to up. Why? The top boss will take the decision what is the situation of resources and how it can be used in a sustainable manner. That decision should go from bottom to up. The conceptual issues of integrated natural resources has evolved in recent years through the convergence of research in diversity. So people of diverse interests should gather in a particular issue. Otherwise, you cannot carry out the development in proper course. People from diverse discipline, they sit together and take a decision involving the local community. And we have to keep in mind that natural resource demands an interdisciplinary approach, which I was talking about a couple of minutes back. Interdisciplinary approach and sound knowledge on each specific resource, as well as ecological, economic, social cost. Sociology people should be there, economics people will be there, those who are dealing with ecosystem, they should be there. So, if you want to pursue the natural resource management in a sustainable way, then there should be interdisciplinary. And it calls for greater coordination at the global level. The attitude should not be exploitative. Now the war between Russia and Ukraine, this is nothing but the ego, and sometimes the war happens due to capturing of resources. I would like to request you to remind the Gulf War in 1991 between US-led multinational forces and Iraq. The target was to capture the rich oil reserves of Kuwait. And there is this is nothing but the conflict of resources. Because the oil, the petrol in Kuwait is very high quality. So Iraq was trying to capture the rich oil reserve, and the US-led multinational forces, they would like to capture, particularly America, they would like to capture the rich oil reserves of Kuwait. Kuwait is a small country, but that war happened due to not for the larger benefits of the people of the world, not for the larger benefits of the people of Kuwait or Iraq, but that was a war, petrodollar. Petrodollar was at the core or center of this war. So now, all the wars in the international arena was happening due to the capturing over the rich resource reserves. And it identifies and highlights the prospects for institutional, technological, and policy innovation community management of resources to reduce poverty, enhance food security, and ensure biodiversity of agriculture. So definitely, if Asian countries, particularly South Asian countries, they represent dense population. So poverty is already there. We have to address the poverty. This is our responsibility. We have to enhance the food security, and at the same time, we have to ensure the biodiversity also. It helps to answering some of the questions and how to how the current natural resources can be managed in a way that will ensure the remain accessible for future generations. We have to think not merely for ourselves but the future generations. So now I am switching over to the second part of my deliberations, introducing Northeast. All of you know, I mean, little bit. I am just sharing the information. That information is, you know, already you know, those who are living in the Northeast. This is the easternmost region of India, representing both geographic and political administrative division of the country. It comprises 8 states. Now, Sikkim was the partner of this. So earlier it was called the Seven Sisters. Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura. Now 8 sisters, not 7 sisters. It is very popularly known as Seven Sisters, now 8 sisters. So the states of the northeastern region are officially recognized under the Northeastern Council, constituted in the year 1971 as a acting agency for the development of the Northeastern. So there is a council which was established in 1971 and which is looking after the development pros cons of the Northeast. And the 8 sister states is a popular term for the contiguous. Earlier it was 7 sisters. So after the inclusion of Sikkim, now it has become 8 sisters. So geographical identity, little bit. It can be geographically categorized into the Eastern Himalaya and the Patkai and the Brahmaputra and Barak Valley Plain. Northeast India at the confluence of Indo-Malayan, Indo-Chinese and Indian biological realms has a predominantly humid subtropical climate with hot, humid summers, severe monsoons and mild winters. So, like Odisha, Odisha has a coast. In Bengal also there is coast, but it is dominated by monsoonal climate. Along with the west coast of India, this region has some of the Indian subcontinent's last remaining rainforests, which support diverse flora and fauna and several. I have already pointed out uh, at the inception of my lectures, because this is the reserve, reservoir of rich resources and reservoir of biodiversity. You can get many more floral species and faunal species and several crop species also. From that, in spite of the rich resource reserves and biodiversity, the, 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 the development, particularly the economic development, the infrastructural development of the Northeast has not been carried out in proper perspective. But the government, whether the central government or the concerned state government, they're trying their level best to develop the economically, to give a sound shape to the northeastern region. Reserves of petroleum and natural gas in the region are estimated to constitute fifth of India's. Assam is very rich in oil, petrol. There are so many oil refineries, So among the states of Northeast, Assam is very much rich in natural gas, petroleum, and definitely the natural resources and biodiversity. The region is covered by mighty Brahmaputra Barak river system and their tributaries. So it has been crisscrossed. Assam. Brahmaputra, the mighty Brahmaputra is the pride for Assam and the Assamese. Because the culture, the traditions which is centering around the Assamese culture and traditions is centering around the mighty Brahmaputra. Geographically, apart from the Brahmaputra, Barak and Imphal Valley, and some flatlands in between the hills of Meghalaya and Tripura, the remaining 2/3 of the area is hilly terrain, interspersed with valleys and plains. The altitude varies from this. These are nothing but some of the geographical information, and the region's high rainfall averaging around 10,000 millimeters. 390 inch and above creates problems of the ecosystem, high seismic activity and flood. So there is natural hazards. The northeastern region we have witnessed, and we are the witness of several earthquakes which have occurred in Assam and adjoining region, and flood is also a regular phenomena in a year where heavy downpours is there during July, August, and September, and flood is a regular phenomena, and there is a problem for the ecosystem. The states of Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim have a mountain climate, mountainous climate with cold, snowy winters and so northeast resource rich region. So now we have gone through the geographical identity of the northeast. Now we are trying to explore the resource rich region of northeast. WWF, World Wide Fund for Nature, has identified the entire Eastern Himalaya as a priority global 200 ecoregion. So I am not telling you. This has been stated or mentioned by the World Wide Fund for Nature that Eastern Himalaya is the global 200 ecoregion. There are small ecoregion and 200 ecoregions they have identified. Conservation International. So just think how rich ecologically, how the ecological panorama is rich, how much that World Wide Fund for Nature has identified. Conservation International has upscaled the Eastern Himalaya hotspot to include all the 8 states of Northeast India, along with the neighboring countries of Bhutan, Southern China, and Myanmar. The region has been identified by Indian Council of Agricultural Research as a center of rice germplasm. So you can get, many varieties of rice that I have already pointed out in my earlier discussion. That it's a center of rice germplasm. Variety of rice you will get. The National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources has highlighted the region as being rich in wild relatives of crop plants. It is the center of region of citrus fruits. Two primitive variety of maize, Sikkim primitive 1 and 2, have been reported from Sikkim. So it is also a center for citrus fruits. And 2 primitive varieties of maize is available in Sikkim. All the jhum cultivation, a traditional system of agriculture, is often cited as a reason for the loss of forest cover of the region. This primary agricultural economic activity practiced by local tribes, supported by the cultivation of 35 varieties of crops. So although jhum is very detrimental for the biodiversity or detrimental for the environmental panorama of Northeast, but you will be quite astonished that through this jhum cultivation, the tribal groups they actually cultivate 35 varieties of crops. So this is the panorama. This is the diversity of the resources in Northeast region. The region is rich in medicinal plants. So without any hesitation, we can say it is a storehouse of medicinal plants. And there is diversity in faunal resource also. International Council for Bird Preservation, UK, identified Assam plains and Eastern Himalaya as an endemic bird area. As an area of following 220,000 square kilometers, following the Himalayan range is the countries of Bangladesh, Bhutan, China, Nepal, Myanmar, and the Indian states of Sikkim, Northeast, West Bengal, Arunachal Pradesh, Southern Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Morigaon. Northeast India are also rich in faunal diversity, I have already pointed out, and 15 species of non-human primates, and most important them are Hulok gibbon. These are the scientific name, I don't know. Stumped macaw and peak-tailed macaw, golden langur I know, and Hanuman langur, and rhesus monkey. The most important endangered species is one-horned rhinoceros. So rhinoceros we used to see in Assam, particularly Ganda. The forests of the region are also habitats of elephant, Royal Bengal tiger. Royal Bengal tiger is also found in this region. But Royal Bengal tiger is the product of Sundarban in West Bengal and in Bangladesh also. Leopard, golden cat, fishing cat, marble cat, etc. There are large varieties of cat you will find. And dendritic dolphin in the Brahmaputra is also one of the endangered species. So you can get gangetic dolphin also. The other endangered species are otter, crocodile, tortoise, and some of the fishes. Some of the endangered species are found in the Brahmaputra. So this snapshot gives you uh, a synoptic observation of national parks. I mean, Sirohi National Park, Manipur, Hangwan, Hangpui National Park, Mizoram, and the area coverage in the right side I have shown. Orang National Park, Assam, Nokrek National Park, Meghalaya, and there are so many national parks with area coverage. I mean, there are so many national parks established in the northeast. Prospects of the region. So see, at a glance, about the prospects of the region. One of the two mega biodiversity hotspots. So this region, the northeastern region, represents one of the 12 mega biodiversity hotspots. So keep in mind the importance of northeast. Abundant natural resources. Geographical area, 26.45 million hectare area. Forest, 17.11 million hectare. Agricultural land, 3.91 million hectare. Then rivers, 19,976 kilometers. Indigenous crop germplasm, 300 numbers. Orchids, 900 endangered species. I mean, out of 900, 175 is endangered. So you can get 900 varieties of orchids, medicinal plants, 119 species, aromatic plants. I mean, which is aromatic plant is very much usable in Ayurveda or aromatic plants. I mean, 5 genera, livestock population 22.62 million, poultry 28.32 million, fish germplasm including ornamental 247 species, diverse agroclimatic conditions you will find in northeast. There is alpine zone, temperate savanna. I mean, keeping in view the climatic diversity, the forest, faunal diversity, the floral diversity, and the fish diversity. I mean, you will get diversity in the northeast. This is indicating the future prospects of the region. So, so far as livelihood vulnerability of indigenous community. So we have gone through the geographical perspective. We have gone through the natural resource reserves. We have gone through the diversity of Northeast. So in spite of that, there is livelihood vulnerability of indigenous community. Why? So little bit go through the competitive vulnerability index. I mean, I have taken this comment from a paper, research paper, indicates that it assumes both positive and negative values and varies across different states. It is found that states of Mizoram, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh are more vulnerable than others. So Assam is quite rich than the other sisters. So out of the 8 sisters, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Arunachal are more vulnerable than the others. These states are having higher percentages of indigenous tribal population, and the livelihood depends on common property resources than the other states in the region. So these 4 states which are dominating in tribal population, and they used to depend on the CPS and the other region. And it is very interesting to identify the factors which are responsible for vulnerability. What are those factors responsible for vulnerability? Higher percentage of ST population, it is one of the factors for vulnerability, inducing vulnerability. Income from agriculture, I mean, there mainly engaged in primary activity, particularly agriculture, severe availability, higher proportion of agricultural households are correlated with vulnerability. I mean, they are still engaged in primary activity and they mainly depend on CPA, common properties. Hence, adequate intervention in these respects will enable the indigenous farming community to improve the adaptive capacity against the different sources of risk in livelihood vulnerability. So, we need adequate intervention in these four states where people are much more vulnerable depending on the primary activity. The northeastern region of India appears to be overpopulated. I mean, it, it, I mean, it exhibits dense population in the ecological sense. Given the land-intensive nature of agricultural production and preponderance of primary sector in occupational structure. So, in spite of the adequacy of natural resources, people are still involved in agricultural production and their life is centering around the primary sector. It is also regrettable to note that no effective alternative to zooming has yet been evolved in the region. So there is terrace cultivation, step cultivation is still predominant. The traditional water harvesting systems practiced by the tribal community is now unsustainable. Because there is a vagary of monsoon. Vagary of monsoon you will find. Because keeping in view the climate variability and global warming, there is the traditional water harvesting has become threatened and unsustainable due to the vagary of monsoon. The forest resources based livelihood dependency is now found to be more vulnerable, and the traditional society manipulate biodiversity in a variety of different ways in order to ensure relative stability, ecosystem and ecosystem resilience to cope with the uncertainties in the environment. So now the people of this region, they are trying to manipulate the biodiversity. Whenever you will manipulate the biodiversity, there will be a threat to the ecosystem turnaround. There will be uncertainties in the environmental system will be predominant. So, but it has been observed that a traditional tribal society in the region of India have failed to manage the ecosystem due to a variety of causes. They continue to practice severe dependence safety cultivation. The tribal society, they use traditional ecological knowledge. That means tech. The tribal society, they always try to manage the ecosystem because their livelihood is dependent on the common properties. But still, shifting cultivation is getting continued and CPR dependent livelihood is still predominant. That's why there is a problem for the environmental phenomena. Blaming the tribal population for degradation of forest cover in the region and attempting to stop or ban the zooming will not solve the problem. So if you stop the zoom and if you blame the tribal people that they are rigorously practicing zoom cultivation, development cannot be carried out in proper fashion. So there should be intervention alternative to zoom cultivation. And the much successful initiative for development of sustainable shifting agriculture has been undertaken by some village councils in different states of India. So you have to change the land use policy with diversification, even in cropping pattern, with emphasis on horticulture and plantation crop. Why you are going for zoom cultivation, which are degrading the environment? You introduce the alternate cropping system, cropping practice or pattern, particularly on horticulture and plantation crop, which are suitable for the topographical peculiarity of this region, and that may be the best option for this system. And efforts should also be made strengthening customary institutions for improved local level governance, management of tribal community-based natural resources. and tenurial access and control. So, I mean, blame game should be stopped. You have to strengthen the customary institutions because local level government should be strengthened, and you have to manage the tribal community-based nationalism. Actually, tribal, they are they used to preserve the natural resources because as their livelihood, their customs, their traditions, their religious practices are centering around the natural resources. They preserve the natural resources. They are the real environmentalists to preserve their surroundings. But main culprit is somebody else other than the tribal community, which is uh, who are responsible for the environmental degradation. So some of the initiatives of Ministry in the development of Northeast region, they have taken certain initiatives for the development of Northeast region and matters relating to the execution, execution, and monitoring of development schemes and projects of Northeastern region, including those in the sectors of power, irrigation, roads, and communities. I mean, these are the initiatives of Ministry of Development of Northeast Region. Hill Area Development Program in Northeast Region. Non-lapsable fund for the Northeast region. So there is fund. It should not be lapsed. You utilize the fund in its optimum. And they have established a Northeastern Council, which I have already mentioned. Northeast Development Financial Institutions, they have developed. Northeastern Regional Agricultural Marketing Corporation Limited is one of the initiatives of the ministry. The Sikkim Mining Corporation Limited, they have established. Northeastern Handloom and Handicrafts Development Corporation, Shillong, which is based on Shillong. Roadworks, financed in whole year or in part by the central government in the northeastern region. Planning of road and inland waterways transport in the northeastern. So there are many initiatives which have been taken, uh, introduced by the Ministry for the Development of Northeastern Region. So these are some of the few initiatives. While the Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region would coordinate with various ministries. Not merely they have introduced some initiatives, but all these institutions or organizations uh, under the auspices of Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region, they will coordinate with the various ministries. I mean, they will coordinate with Ministry of Home Affairs, they will coordinate with Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Water Resources, Ministry of Textiles. So uh, they will coordinate this ministry in close coordination with other ministries. Uh, will try its level best for the development of Northeast region. There is one NLCPR, non-lapsable central pool of resources scheme came into existence in 1998 under the planning commission. Under the planning commission. Now planning commission is not now this earlier planning commission. Now it is Niti Aayog, and subsequently it was transferred to development of Northeastern region 2000. So this NLCPR now it has been transferred to concerned ministry. Since inception of the scheme, various projects are sanctioned across sectors of development of Northeastern region as per scheme guidelines framed for the purpose and revised from time to time. The objective of non-lapsable central pool of resources scheme is to fill up the gap in infrastructure sector of the Northeastern. So it will address, is there any gap in the development, it will address this scheme under the auspices of the Ministry of Development of Northeastern region. And based on past experiences and exhaustive review undertaken during 2015 and 16, the scheme guidelines was revised in 2016 to make the process of retention and sanction of projects more transparent and participative, empowering the state. Now, this is scarce, in India, whoever may be the states. The transparency is now $1 million question for the administrative. All these are written on paper. So whatever, I mean, if I say, by argument, if you claim that there is transparency, so there should be a research process of retention and sanction, and that participative and empowering the state. After coming to existence a new central sector scheme in December 2017, Northeast Special Infrastructural Development Scheme, NESIDS, in place of NLCPR. So NLCPR headed, and in place of NLCPR, the Northeast Special Infrastructural Development Scheme has been introduced instead of NLCPR in 2017 during this present government. I mean, this coalition government. Under the leadership of Modi. And what is the function and what it will address? I mean, the message fully funded by the government of India. Is taken. I mean, infrastructural development is now progressing very fast in Northeast India after the establishment of NESIDS. I mean, Northeast people definitely they will agree with me that infrastructural development is progressing very fast since 2007. And it is fully funded by the government of India, and which is taken up to fill the gaps of infrastructure in certain identified sectors of the. The NESIDS will focus on exploitation of the huge tourism potential of the area. So Northeast India, it's a vast potential of tourism. Only if you develop the tourism sector in proper perspective, it will, that will give the revenue, adequate revenue to the state government. So there is huge tourism potential. And the broad objective of NESIDS is to ensure focused development of Northeast region by providing financial assistance for physical infrastructure relating to water supply, power, connectivity, and especially the projects promoting tourism. Social sector for creation of infrastructure in the areas of primary and secondary. And there is certain development and connectivity projects. How much time I have taken? Hello?
Yes, sir.
How much time I have taken? 1 hour I have taken, or little bit?
Sir, almost, sir.
Okay, I am at the flag end of my lecture.
Fine, sir, fine.
And the Northeast region of India, it lags behind the rest of the country in several development areas. Because this Northeast India, in several indicators it lags behind. Because in India and Northeast, there is in between Bangladesh. Government is trying its level best to develop their area, keeping in view its vast natural resource reserves and the tourism potential. Although infrastructure has developed over the years, the region has to go a long way to level up the national standard. But we have achieved a lot. The people of Northeast region, they have achieved a lot in terms of infrastructural development and economy. for the last 10 or 20 years. The total road network of about 377,000 kilometers of Northeast contributes about 9.9% of the total roads in the country. So this is not a matter of joke. It has achieved a lot. Road density in terms of road length per 1,000 square kilometer area is very poor in the hilly state of Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Meghalaya, and Sikkim. So these four states, they represent the poor economy, uh, which I have already mentioned. The people are still engaged in primary activity, and due to, I mean, the hill region, the road condition is very poor, while it is significantly high in Tripura and Assam. Road density in Tripura and Assam is very high. The total railway network in Northeast is 2,602 kilometers. As on 2011, now it has developed more, which is only about 4% of the total railway network of India. Due to hilly terrain and varied altitude, rail transport is mainly confined to Assam, and water transport is almost non-existent. Water transport is there in Assam and Bangladesh. But now it's a database of 2011. But now government is trying to flourish the railway network in the northeastern region wherever possible. But in the hilly terrain, establishment of railway network is very costly, and time-taking. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has formulated special accelerated road development program for Northeast for the development improvement of more than 10,000 kilometers road in the Northeast. So there has been initiative. It is a matter of hope that 10,000 kilometers of road will be developed in the Northeast region. And the ministry has been paying special attention to the development of national highways. So when I have visited Assam 4 or 5 times, mainly Guwahati, but twice or thrice to Dehu. So from Guwahati airport to Shillong, the highway is drawing my attention. How the highway has been developed by the government. It's a matter, and definitely it will enhance, it will strengthen the economic development of both Assam and Meghalaya in the region, and has assigned 10% of the total allocation from public sector. So, I mean, so far as rural development is concerned and the natural resource utilization is concerned, road is the lifeline. Road is the lifeline of natural resource management and rural development all over India. So if road is developed and government is paying attention for the road network, particularly national highway, definitely it will give an impetus to the economic development. It will give a momentum to the natural resource management of the Northeast. Various regional initiatives such as Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar, and Bay of Bengal initiatives for multi-sectoral technical aid. I mean, BIMSTEC conference is today, it is being held in Colombo, Sri Lanka. I have just seen in television that our Prime Minister is giving the address online. He is addressing the BIMSTEC conference, which is being held in Colombo. So this BIMSTEC and BCIN, they are also taking initiative. And India, Myanmar, Thailand trilateral highway project to link the markets of South and Southeast Asia are in very initial stages, which will get momentum and improvement. So if this India, Myanmar, Thailand trilateral highways are developed in its optimum, it will link to the markets of South and Southeast Asia. Then definitely the northeastern region will be benefited, and the economic development of the northeastern region will be strengthened, and there will be revenue earning if this trilateral highway is developed. Sustainable development in Northeast India, role of NARCOM. NARCOM is nothing but Northeastern Region Community Resource Management Project. So this is a project consisting of 4 tribal communities. So this project is addressing the development of tribal community. And this project also aims to improve the quality of life for the tribal people by helping them with livelihood opportunities and other aid in social development. So this project is very much important in addressing the livelihood of the tribal people. This livelihood of tribal people, particularly of the 4 states which are economically poor due to the tortuous hilly terrain, that was uh, the livelihood. The livelihood will be developed with this initiative of NARCOM, and it is a joint development initiative of the Ministry of Development of Northeast Region, Northeastern Council, and International Fund for Agriculture. So, donor, NEC, and IFAD, it's an initiative of these 3 important agencies. They have introduced this NARCOM, particularly towards addressing the livelihood uh, of tribal people. So, what are the focus areas of NARCOM? Mobilize the society as a whole. I am not going into detail. Economic and infrastructural. So, operating area. Assam, initially they have Karbi districts within the states. Karbi Anglong, Manipur, Ukhrul, Senapati, Purachandrapur, Chandel, Meghalaya, West Garo Hills, West Khasi Hills, Arunachal Pradesh, Changlang, Kaira. So initially they have selected certain districts of the northeastern states uh, for the implementation of the project. Once success is achieved, then other districts will come under this NARCOM project. So groups formed under NARCOM, Natural Resource Management Group.
So,
NARCOM, Natural Resource Management Group, NARMG. This is a village level body that helps the villagers, representing every family, to form a group and develop the economy of the village by sustainable use of natural resources. Self-help group they have developed, and major project activities: capacity building. Capacity building, towards strengthening community-based operations, institutional level, and capacity participating organizations like NGOs. So this is nothing but a snapshot of the this self-help groups, and they will provide micro loans or credit to the local communities via self-help groups, natural resource management groups, microcredit institutions, community-based biodiversity conservation and communication, helping the local communities manage their natural resources. At the same time, conserve the unique biodiversity. Then convergence with ongoing government schemes. So there should not be any conflict between the ongoing government schemes and the NARCOM project. So there should be a convergence so that one can supplement other, help in the convergence of the activities with government and economic and livelihood activities. Promote economic generation activities using sustainable and environment transit activities. You have to keep in mind the environment and sustainability. Crop production, forestry, livestock, horticulture, extension and technology transfer. Built on participatory extension methods. The extension is client-centric and demand-driven. Whatever demand there is, there should be client-centric. Whatever I am demanding, that should be addressed. This involves creating a trained group of volunteers at the village level or cluster level who then extend the services at the grassroots community. We have
sir,
marketing support. Create marketing opportunities with NARM, Natural Resource Management Group. Because if there is no market, then where the product will be sold. That is the problem. So marketing opportunities should be created, and social sector activities, should be there, which will affect health, such as provide access to drinking water, better situation. If health is not restored, if people are not healthier, then how all these projects will be implemented? So you have to address the social sector also. Village road
Excuse me, sir.
electrification.
Excuse me, sir.
So there should be village level uh, electrification, because until and unless village is getting electrified, rural electrification is not established or restored, how natural resource will be utilized or managed in proper fashion. And there is NARCOM. What is the impact, project impact of NARCOM? 860 villages in phase 1, 466 villages in phase 2, 1,320 villages in phase 2. I mean, they will address, they will cover over 5,000 self-help groups and more than 1,000 natural resource management groups have been set up. So this is not a matter of joke. We have been achieved a lot under the NARCOM project. And UN initiative, I mean, this may be the last part. UN initiatives for Northeast. So FAO is the convener of Northeast Results Group in India, collaborating with United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, International Labour Organization, International Organization for Migration, and the United Nations Development. And under this UN joint initiative, in Mizoram, ILO organized a training of trainers on start and improve your business program for potential entrepreneurs. So these are the initiatives which are being taken by the international organizations, international initiatives. ILO also finalized submitted skill gap survey report of the government of Mizoram. UNIDO provided technical advisory services to the Department of Industry and Bamboo Development Agency, because bamboo industry is very pronounced in Assam particularly, and finalized a bamboo sector survey for Mizoram. So these are nothing but the snapshots. So I have come to the flag end. Under FAO's technical cooperation program, a range of initiatives in animal husbandry, farmer field, schools, and afforestation and livelihood promotion are being undertaken. And there has been a value chain analysis for horticulture crop. So UNDP has taken this initiative and developed a strategy for expanding market liquidity. So what are the ground reality? Yeah, I have at the flag end. What is the ground reality? That I have already deliberated. It has immense natural resources, accounting for 34% of country's water resources and almost 40% of India's hydropower potential, but strategically located with access to traditional domestic market of Eastern India. But what happened? The region is also a vantage entry point for the Southeast Asian market. The resource-rich region, with its vast expansion, fertile farmland, huge untapped human capital, has the potential to be India's most prosperous. It has potentiality, but the potentiality of resources, potentiality of the human capital has not been explored in proper perspective. So there are advantages, there is resources, there is human capital, but still it is categorized as one of the backward regions of India, characterized by low per capita income, lack of private investment, low capital formation, inadequate infrastructure facility, geographical isolation, and inadequate utilization of its mineral resources, hydropower potential, and biodiversity. So this is the point of concern which planners and decision makers they are to be engaged in thinking how to develop this region. So not merely the government initiatives is adequate or enough, but the people of these regions are to be involved with the development process. What exactly to do? What we can do? Natural resource and livelihood security, role of traditional institutions and wisdom, local self-governance institutions, traditional ecological knowledge, which I was talking about, and resource management. You have to manage the resources by applying the traditional ecological. Recognition of community asset management traditions, because there are certain traditions which are beneficial to the local stakeholders. Issues for improved livelihood, diversification of income sources, not merely, in four states, the people are still engaged in primary activities, but there should be diversification in income, need for market linkages, building upon existing agricultural systems, horticultural research institutes, and cash crop cultivation. Changes in land use patterns, definitely ecotourism is a sustainable source of income, which I have already emphasized, because it has vast potentiality for ecotourism, and it can give you vast revenue for this region. Fostering partnership for livelihood improvement. Based on locally available knowledge and resources, building partnership with the local community, engaging religious institutions in resource management, government facilitation of market access, empowerment of communities in resource generation, adopting a flexible approach in project implementation, and low-cost policy. Low-cost policy that has been generated during the tenure of the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. Now, low-cost policy is getting enhanced. We have to look east, not merely look east. Look east, East Asian countries. And from the Indian perspective, we have to look northeast. Look east policy, need of the hour. No, this is the last part. Yeah. In the 21st century, there has been recognition among the policymakers and the economists of the region that the main stumbling block for economic development of the Northeast is the disadvantageous geographical. So my lecture is geographical perspective, and in the light of geographical perspective, how the Northeast region can be developed. It was argued that globalization propagates deterioration and a borderless world, which is often associated with economic activity. So now, world is now being considered as a global village. So this disadvantageous geographical location, we have to explain how it can be developed. With 98% of its border with China, Myanmar, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Nepal, Northeast India appears to have a better scope for development in the era of globalization. It has international boundary, So there is better scope for the development. As a result, a new policy developed among intellectuals and politicians that one direction the Northeastern region must be looking to as new way of development, like with political integration with the rest of India and economic integration with the rest of Asia. So your political integration should be with India, but economic integration with the rest of Asia and Oceania, with North, East, and Southeast Asia, Micronesia and Polynesia in particular, as the policy of economic integration with the rest of India did not yield much dividend. So politically, you have to be involved with India. Economically, you have to be involved, extended to East and Northeast, Southeast Asia. With the development of this new policy, the government of India directed its look-east policy towards developing the Northeastern region. This policy is reflected in the year-end review of 2004 of the Minister of External Affairs, which stated that India's look-east policy has now, this review in 2004, maybe at the end of Atal Bihari Vajpayee regime or the beginning of Manmohan Singh regime. Policy has been given a new dimension by the UPA government. That means after the Manmohan Singh assuming the power of the Prime Minister, is now looking towards partnership with the Association of Southeast Asia, ASEAN countries, both within BIMSTEC and India-ASEAN Summit Dialogue, is integrally linked to economic and security interests, particularly for India's East and Northeast. So you look East, particularly to Southeast, both within BIMSTEC and India for economic development, but politically, you are to be involved with the Indian territory. So thanks for your patient hearing. Maybe I have taken little bit time more.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Very nice
Yeah,
presentation.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah,
Juna, let now
so,
introduce Bimal Sharma
yes, yes.
and the next research persons.
Okay. Okay, sir. With us Dr. Bimal Sharma from University of Canberra, Australia. Uh, he has a background of geography, if I'm not wrong. So welcome, sir. Welcome to the event. And we also have Professor Jayanta Kumar Rautre, sir, with us. Due to some technical glitch, we have to shuffle his presentation. Now it's Professor Jayanta Kumar Rautre, sir, will be presenting on geographical perspective of sustainable development goals. For a brief introduction, those who have joined later, he is currently holding the title of Professor Emeritus at Asian Institute of Technology, AIT, Thailand, since September 28, after serving that AIT uh, since 1988. So, welcome, sir. Sir, I would like to call you for the presentation, sir.
oh, somebody,
Please, sir.
somebody has raised hand. I mean, she has
So, we
question
will,
for clarification.
sir, we will sorry, sir, we will have those questions after the presentation at the last part.
Okay, okay. No, but
Routry, sir, please, sir.
sir, good afternoon.
Thank you, Zona, for introducing me. Thank you so much. And congratulations to Department of Geography and Morigaon College for organizing this great event. Of course, here it is evening now. I should say good afternoon to all of you. And yeah, I'm here and will be till end.
Good afternoon,
Thank you.
Rautra sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, you're unmute yourself. Unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah. Nice presentation, sir. It's really nice and it's really brief, and I think it's really good for the students community of Morigaon College and all the academicians and researchers about brief about the northeast of India. Though I'm not presenting anything today, I'm glad to attend the entire webinar. Apology, I joined a bit late. Sorry for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, Routry, sir, please.
Oh, Rautra sir is not audible.
I think he has some microphone issue, sir.
Sir, you are not audible.
So, we cannot hear you, sir.
Sir, please see the microphone. Rauter, sir, please see. You are not audible.
Now it is audible. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Now.
Hello.
now you are
Yes, sir.
audible.
Now it is audible. Okay. So without my say hearing aid, I think I am audible. I don't know how loud it will be and how clear it will be. I am not so sure. Okay. So I think with this I can start my presentation. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and all participants, Professor Kalita, Professor Pothakur, and Professor Jana, and the organizers of this particular international event. Actually, because of internet problem, I don't know. I have two alternative connection, but all failed. So finally, I'm using my mobile, and I am sure with a little bit disturbances, you can hear me. So can you please say put on my slides so that I can go one by one? And I think it is almost 12:45, and maybe I can take maximum 45 minutes or less to finish my presentation. So anybody is presenting at your desk, so please put on my
Just Sharma,
slide.
share the slide of Professor Raute. You or anybody else. Yes, send the PPT, na?
I have already sent. Yes, yes, yes. I have already sent, and I think they have the slide. I requested, please uh, so from there. If not, I can go from here without slides using my printouts. Okay, today's topic is geographical perspective of sustainable development goals, and basically, I will try to speak on different aspects of geography as a discipline and the potential for contribution towards sustainable development, and in between I will also just touch upon all those goals and linkages with the geography, and then potential contribution towards end. So this is what I have organized my presentation, that is all about, and I think the organizer will circulate among the participants for their benefit later. And first of all of you, most of you are geographers, and I think you know your discipline, but still we have to know more deeper. Whatever we know, even at this stage, also I feel my knowledge is not adequate to understand my own discipline. And say geography is a very diverse subject, and it deals with the places,
কি
places
নাইকিয়া
of
হৈ
Earth
যায় যে
surface
অমিয়া বাইদেউ
and their interaction, and it is study of places and the relationship between people and their say environments, and therefore we have both physical geography as well as say human geography. And I in one of my slides I have tried to give you few say say definitions or so-called explanation about the geography as a discipline, and broadly it has two branches: physical and human geography, with several sub branches. And what are the say branches? And most of us know about it under physical geography. Why I am giving this list? Because later on I'll try to link with the SDG what we can do. And under physical geography, geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, and biogeography. Then under human geography, we have many different branches, a number of sub-disciplinary fields that focus on different elements of human activity and organization. For example, cultural geography, economic geography, agriculture geography, industrial geography, health geography, historical geography, political geography, population geography, rural geography, urban geography, social geography, transport geography, tourism geography, development geography, and so on so forth. So we have plenty of branches, and I have to link towards the end with the different say SDGs. That is very important. And let us see what is the scope within geography for addressing SDGs. First thing, geography has several branches or fields. And second point is geography is interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary in nature. And I don't know how much you have realized by yourself, say working or meaning teaching or doing research and also conducting field activities. Probably we all of us can agree. Yes, our subject itself is very much interdisciplinary in nature and also multidisciplinary in nature. And once I move on, you can realize this aspect later. And also sometimes geography is transdisciplinary. We go beyond our disciplinary boundary, and it also touches upon other branches of say disciplines. Above all, geography is multidimensional that addresses issues beyond the disciplinary boundary, and this is what we have to realize if we want to connect ourselves with sustainable development goals. And the scope exists within geography to address a number of sustainable development goals through different branches of geography, subject to in-depth study and research, and whatever learned and the type of teaching research that we do, maybe that is not enough to address all those goals. and some geographers around the globe, even in India, they do some research linking to sustainable development goals, but those kind of research activities or contributions are very much limited. So we have to expand and we have to take the opportunity, and then we have to get ourselves well prepared, and how much we can contribute and what are the areas that we can contribute. So therefore, my slide is on one slide,
Is it
why
visible?
sustainable development. So I think those who are
Hello?
presenting, they can go one by one.
Yes, sir, visible.
Yeah, without waiting for me. And you must go to the slide number 7, why sustainable development. And that is very, very important. And in a very simple way, sustainable development is the key for the present and also for the future, and in a very simple way reversing the negative development that we are associated or facing almost every time, and with at present, irrespective of developing and developed countries. It is not that only India and Indian states are having problem or facing those kind of issues around the globe, irrespective of their development status. Developing and developed nation, both they are also facing some kind of say problems, and our target, how we can reverse the negative development say issues, meaning we have to work in a way so that we should have the positive say, development, uh, and with minimum or without any say negative impacts on the earth and humanity and so on and so forth. So, all of you are aware about the Millennium Development Goals that we finished in 2015, and after 2015, even the all members of the United Nations organization, they have decided to continue this activity, but with a new name, and that has started from 16 up to 2030, and we are almost at the middle, and say 7 8 years more just to complete this phase of action. And all countries have collectively committed for SDGs to pursue in respective countries. So globe as a whole, we have to have collective approach. Even within the country, we should have a collective approach. Say country like India, with its so many states, with its so much say diversity, say within. So therefore, we have to also address these particular issues. But as you know, the current war between Ukraine and Russia has almost imbalanced the global economy, and all of us directly and indirectly feeling the pinch. And if this continues, and very destructive approach, and what to speak of the sustainable development, actually war between two countries, but affecting the whole globe. And say it has a lot of implication in future, say climate change and all that we talk about to temperature rise, but this war has already contributed in that direction very much. So then the next question is development to sustainable development. We are moving from development to sustainable development, and anything that we do, whether it is positive or negative, that is development. Even the pile of garbage on the street also development. And when we have say clean road with the greeneries, with the light and everything, that is also development. So we can see the positive and negative say development. So, but the question is, we have to move from the development to sustainable development. So development is the goal and output of some course of action, and it may be positive, it may be the negative, meaning we have to observe the changes, and always we think and we dream for positive changes. So that is very, very important. And when you talk about sustainable development, and you will find the all sectors of economy and the departments, ministries, they are also working in this direction, and you will find very popular and catch word like sustainable is a prefix to everything. Sustainable agriculture development, sustainable industrial development, sustainable livelihoods, sustainable rural development, and sustainable cities, etc., etc. and you can just use this prefix. Everybody is using this prefix, but how much we are working in this direction, that is a big issue. So therefore, this sustainable development movement started from the World Commission on Environment and Development, and from there we moved to MDG in 2000, and currently SDGs in 2016. So the whole say concept is say, transforming our world. That is what we want to do. And 2030 agenda for sustainable development. That is the basic philosophy behind it, and transforming our world in a positive sense. And then MDG were primarily focused on addressing issues of developing countries, but SDGs are the concerns for all countries. So this is to be underlined very much. And still under the SDG, also when you check goal by goal, and say many of them are very much relevant for developing countries, and why those problems we are not free from them. And sustainable development is the issue to be pursued for a longer period of time, and 2030 is the time period set. But to me, after 2030, it doesn't mean that we'll stop everything, but we have to work, behave, and interact in a way to ensure the sustainability in everything. So I have my slide on 9, what is sustainable development, and I am not going all details, but I will definitely say focus on one, and then you can follow other things in our common future. That is very important contribution, development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. So this is very important. And say we should not be live under hunger, and we have to see that our children like under food security. So the future generation should have also say equal right under food security. They should be secured in terms of not only food, in health, in shelter, and everything. So therefore, so what is happening now? We are say consuming. Maybe there are different explanation behind it. We are consuming more than the requirement without to say substituting by proper production. So that is the whole problem. And in this particular context, the sustainable development in my slide number 10, you have to focus like economic component is there, social component is there, and or environmental component is there. So socio-economic and environmental issues to be addressed and also synchronized in a way to generate or to contribute towards sustainable development. And I am not going in detail economic, what is economic, social, and all those features are there, and environmental concerns are always there. And then what we want to do or want to focus on the environment. So the key features like biodiversity, Professor Jana talked about Northeast situation, about the resource potential and conservation of resources, etc. So biodiversity, natural resources, carrying capacity, then ecosystem integrity and interrelationship among and within ecosystem they remain intact, and clean air and water, and so on and so forth. And biodiversity actually say variability among living organisms from all sources, diversity of species and ecosystem, and carrying capacity, population to be supported for unit of area without environmental deterioration, and ecosystem integration, keeping ecosystem intact to maintain variety of living organism, and natural resource, then that is the rational utilization, conservation, renewable, and regeneration. And as students of geography, I still remember the natural conservation of natural resources by T.M. Smith, and what was taught during our time, even before our time, and now also. And all those concepts are very valid. I remember two things like pond resource and flow resource, and you can easily say understand. And pond meaning will adjust soon, and we are adjusting. And flow like you just maybe wind power, solar power, or even hydropower. So it is like it's a flow, but we have to ensure how to make it flow. So because of the climate change and other kinds of bottlenecks, hazards, and things are changing. And let us focus on the world population. This is one of the important, say, graph that I have used. And currently, our population is close to 8 billion, and by 2050, we'll cross 10 billion. But you see, by to reach 1 billion, 1 billion, it took 200,000 years. That is, I have taken from a source, and now how quickly we are changing our population, and population rise is the crux of all problems and imbalancing all issues behind sustainable development goals. Because say human beings, population, they actually consume everything without do any rational consideration, logical consideration. We are very greedy, and say capturing, acquiring, consuming whatever say resources available, natural resources and other resources. And what are the key challenges? So key challenges, one is world poverty, and then hunger and malnourishment. I have given some statistics: income equality, inequality, and rapid urbanization. This is what happening around the globe. So also in India, and we have to by say 2050, 70% people will live in urban areas. So we have to create space for the migrant population, new population. But what we see, none of the Indian cities are free from slums and squatters, so-called bastis, and say what is the plan for them, how to accommodate and how to make the best use of those migrant population. We need them, and they are really contributing towards our economy, infrastructure development, and so on and so forth. But say this is the reality of the situation, and energy needs, and everybody is feeling the pinch. Food security, impacts of climate change, and environmental degradation, and many others. So issues are you will find a long list. And then what are the issues addressed under core sustainable development themes? Poverty is there, governance is there, health, education, demographics, meaning the population, and not only the number, but also the composition. Old age population is a big issue. Old age population in many countries, so they have only old age population. But India is fortunate. We talk about India has a very vibrant young population, and meaning say we do not have any shortage of manpower, but we don't get opportunity, employment opportunity, how to absorb those young, vibrant, say, working force. And then natural hazards and atmosphere, meaning related to climate change, land, ocean, seas, and the coast, fresh water, biodiversity, economic development, and global economic, say, partners. That is very important. And partner, meaning partnering with, say, developing within developing countries, and also developing vis-a-vis developed countries, and then consumption and production pattern. So these are the core sustainable development things, and you can do a lot of things under this. And in my slide 15, I have shown you the picture, and so can you please show the next slide? And that next slide, actually, this is a very common pictorial form of representing sustainable development goals, and very popular picture, and used by everybody. And then I have the description of sustainable development goals from say goal 1. I will not go one by one, and say almost goal 17. There are 17 goals, and so I have given you little bit description and statistics under say each goal. So maybe I can just highlight just simply the first goal, say no poverty is the issue. Goal 2, zero hunger and food security comes here. And goal 3, good health and well-being, and well-being of say all section of say people. And then say goal 4, that is quality of education. This is very, very important, and India is trying to transform the educational system with a new educational policy. And please go through it, and the way the government is thinking, and there are a lot of things say between the state and central governments in terms of our education policy. And my concern is our new education policy, to what extent has created the scope and address the issues of sustainable development goals, and forget about the UN agenda or UN slogan. But as such, as a common man, we have to ensure the sustainable development right at home, to the community, and to the district, to the state, and to the country, and then only we can integrate ourselves with the global system. This is very, very important, and education is the key. And therefore, quality of education, under that, my concern is that to what extent our new policy is going to emphasize and highlight on the issues of sustainable development issues. So this is very, very important. And then gender say equality, and this is also a big concern. And say equality, meaning in terms of the status, is very, very important. Not say equity by number. Oh, so many people are educated, but status is very important. And those who are working on say gender studies, gender development, and they can well understand and focus. This is very, very important. And then goal 6, clean water and sanitation. Goal 7, affordable and clean energy. And that is the key for all kinds of development. Without energy, nothing can happen. And that too, say clean energy. We talk about solar, we talk about say wind, and we talk about say hydropower. And also we have to think and to ensure how to produce more and more clean energy, and reduce the dependency on the say fond energy like coal and the diesel and the petrol, etc., etc. And goal 8, so say a decent work and economic growth, that is in relation to economic development. Goal 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And I have a little bit description under each of them, and you can also find out say more detailed discussions about those things. And then the question is goal 10, reduce inequalities. This is very important. And when we talk about inequality, say it is inequality between household, maybe in village, household inequality, and inter-village inequality, and maybe say block, sub-district inequality, inter-district inequality, and interstate inequality, and of course, say inter-country, and therefore we are categorized under say developing countries. So we have to address this disparity, the gap, and the target is to reduce. And if we can reduce at home, meaning household level, and inter-household level, then gradually we can build up from bottom and reach to the top. And goal 11, sustainable say cities and communities. And this is where now our government is also very much focusing and giving say additional grants, special grants, to make cities actually sustainable. But the way I understand, Bhubaneswar is selected as one of the smart city. And when they talk about smart, they forget about the sustainable word. It should be smart, sustainable city. They talk about smartness in terms of infrastructure development only, but how to sustain that infrastructure development is a big challenge. And how we can make our cities green, that is very important. And some cities are fortunate, surrounded by green environment, but we have to ensure and how to make those things to continue and provide us a better environment to live in the cities. And now we realize the value of a tree, and scorching sun, you are walking down, and we don't find a big tree to take shelter under that tree, and part of the system. We don't talk about that. And so therefore, in Bhubaneswar now, there are seven towns and cities having temperature more than 40 degrees. And it has gone up to 45 degree, 46 degree centigrade some years, and this year also projected it may come to that level. So how to live? We talk about smart cities, but don't talk about smart green city or smart and sustainable city. We don't talk about that. So then responsible consumption and production. This is very important. And I understand in urban areas or the affordable households, both in rural and urban areas, and they consume because they can afford. They consume more than they need. We are not conscious of that, because we have money, we have purchasing power, we have buying power, and then we go and say buy even if we need and even if we don't need, and dump at home because we have money. So this is what happening. So therefore, responsible consumption and production. We have to make our needs very carefully, and we have to, when we consume, we have to also consider the members of the community. And to me, those who are affording, they are making over consumption, and therefore we take the share from others because of the over consumption. That is applicable in all. Suppose, say, electricity consumption, for example, and you are affordable and you have 5 ACs, each room has your own AC, but you never think how to live without AC, how to make your, say, shelter and house in a way that you will be least dependent on, say, aircon system, and you have to make your house cool. So you don't think in that way. And because you have money, you have 5 ACs, and you are consuming more, you pay the bill, and so therefore we deprive others also. Many, they don't get that much of say facility. And say goal 13, say climate action. I'll not go all details. Then life below water. So that is marine life basically, and that is the major resource. Say you can say reserve for us to survive. And of course, we are trying to explore some areas. It is overexploited, but still we have to also protect and sustain. My point is continuity of those life below water is very important, and also continuity of the natural system, ecosystem on over the surface also equally important. Continuity, sustainability meaning the continuity. What is happening, we have to continue without any compromise for the future generation. And then life on land in the same way. And goal 16, this is about peace, justice, and strong institutions. And here you can find, and currently you can relate to the war going on between Ukraine and Russia. And say over a month they are fighting, and they have meaning they have met 6-7 times how to stop war and go for peace process, but not possible. So meaning the whole Ukraine, half of the Ukraine already gone, meaning destroyed. And you can imagine from the pictures that we see how many years that will be required to revive or to come back to the say, previous situation. I think there are several questions behind it, and peace is very important, and that is the basic thing. And even the Russia did not care for International Court of Justice verdict or request or whatever you may interpret. So therefore, how peace process will continue? So therefore, the last one is partnership. So within the village, one household cannot do. All households have to participate. And say within our panchayat and say block council or block summit and whatever, we need those kind of partnership. At the district level, we need partnership everywhere. Meaning here partnership between government and non-government organizations, and also say private companies, bodies, and so on and so forth, even community-based organization and so on and so forth. But so this is very important, and there are several things, and here they focus on international level partnership. But we have to say take this concept from the global to the local, meaning say sustainability is possible if we move from the local to global. And then I will touch very briefly the 4R framework for sustainable development, and this is very important. And very briefly, The first 4R is reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover. So they say like waste reduction, reuse waste if practicable, and recycling is the third option in waste management and may be possible to recover materials and energy. Say you can feel at your home, you use something and immediately you throw, and the fellow will come. Those who are the garbage collectors, they collect, and they are not fools. Why do they collect? And maybe for recycling, and they have to extract some of the important say parts, and then that is going back to the market again. So you have a old fridge, you are throwing it out, and they are extracting some of the components and to be used for repairing, and those kind of parts are not available in the market because say all companies are smart enough and just to stop producing those kind of components and phasing out their production with a new brand. Okay, this is a new brand, and other things were obsolete, and so on and so forth. This is a very practical example. And then 4R solution. What are the 4R solution? So right source, right rate, right time, and right place. So this is very, very important. And application of fertilizer matching with the crop for unit of crop land. For example, time relates to crop growth and place relates to farmland specific nutrients required for each farm situation. This is in the context of agricultural development, and we can use this also for other aspects, other issues that we are going to address. Then 4R principles of green living, say refuse, reduce, and reuse, recycle. So this is very, very important. And refuse to plastic wraps, bags, boxes, and cartoons as packaging causing environmental problems. You can see, so in the present time, say doing shopping or marketing, online shopping, online marketing, you see they are using lot of packaging materials. So of course, some of them are going for the recycle industry, but plenty. We don't need that. And when you go to the market and we forget to carry our own shopping bag, and then we request, hey, please put things in a polythene bag, plastic bag, I do not bring, or even many people do not like the plastic use of plastic bag, made people's habit in a way, they don't like you. Use the old bags, old bags, and our parents used to do, and their parents used to do, and that is a kind of self-sustained society, least dependent on the external resources. That we don't consider from that point of view. And then the other important aspect is synthesis and linkages with the geography. This is very, very, let's say, important, and what we can do. And I have selected some of the things. The one is population control, linkages with the population and health geography. We have population geography, we have health geography, and even people also specialize under, say, population studies, doing after bachelor degree. Many people go for master of population studies, and so therefore population control has a linkage with geography, and we have the discipline to address population and health geography. But we have never oriented ourselves to link with sustainable development goals. The natural resource conservation, biodiversity, ecosystem management, and it has linkages with the resource and economic and biogeography. And we have all those resource geography there, economic geography, part of the economic geography, also resource geography. Now we are separating out resource geography, economic geography, and biogeography. And I think biogeography is the least talked, discussed, and studied, though we have a branch, maybe in Western universities, some of them they do, but in Indian curriculum, we have the least reflection of biogeography, and we need not have to make touch and vanish. We have to focus and intensify our curriculum in a way, really, if somebody is interested to be a specialist and really doing some contribution, then whatever they study is just a kind of prelude. We expose them to that, but one has to do in-depth study and everything. Then focus on agriculture and allied sector, food production, processing, linkages with agriculture and industrial geography. We have agricultural geography and industrial geography. Infrastructure development, particularly water, renewable energy, and then we have transport and resource geography. We have that to address. but we have to reorient the economic development with social integration, linkages with the development geography. In the Western universities, and you go to UK universities, even US universities and Australian universities, and development geography is well focused. And say those who specialize and make in-depth study, and you will find them working in international agencies, development agencies, as non-government agencies, and so on and so forth. Then poverty, gender, inequality, education and health, etc., linkages with social development and also health geography. So we have to see those goals, and then climate action and disaster management linkages with the climatology. And many universities, I don't know, they don't teach. And I was fortunate at the graduate level, honors level, my specialization was climatology. And later on, we also studied as a part of our postgraduate curriculum. And when myself was involved in introducing disaster management and climate change as a program at AIT, then I realized the value of climatology that I have studied long time back. And really, many people talk about climate change without understanding the science behind it. And this climatology, what has been studied in the past, really to geographers, those who have studied, and they are in a much better position to talk and to deliver it, And many people, those who are, say, activists, and also they are not researchers, and they are field-based practitioners, and they don't have the scientific background and the rigor to argue further. So my point is that geography department should think about it and revive in the present context and without climatology. So, for example, oceanography, we talk about, say, life below water. So, oceanography, we have studied about the current and movement, and it has linkage with the climatology and so on and so forth. But biogeography will tell us both the life below water and life above water, meaning on Earth. So therefore, biogeography is very, very important for us. Then climate action and disaster management linkages with climatology, then human rights and partnership, etc., linkages with the social and development geography. And development geography, I don't see very much in Indian curriculum, and Western say departments, they focus very much on this. And if I continue in my next slide, and the geographic perspective on development goals, some scholars, they have studied and did some research and tried to understand the linkages, and those kind of studies came up, and actually after the declaration of sustainable development goals, and it is a kind of a stimuli and the catalytic effect on some of the geographers, those who are really working in that particular field, and they try to do some research, and based on their research findings, I have to sum up certain points. So geographers have, for the most part, ignored, it is not my sentence, or evaded discussion of development goals in their full technical, material, discursive, and political dimensions. Maybe the message is we go only touch and vanish, but we don't do any in-depth study. And I put Liverman, not me. And then same fellow also highlighted few development geographers engage directly with either international institutions or NGOs. Suppose if you have a chance, and beyond your disciplinary activity, if you are really working closely with NGOs or international institutions, and probably you have some scope, and then you have some understanding about development goals, and then further you get yourself acquainted with it and get yourself prepared to do further in-depth research. Many geographers have a healthy skepticism about statistics and aggregation that provide inadequate, say, representations of lives and landscapes, or are unwilling to engage with the database over facts and knowledge. So this is a big question, meaning we do research on the basis of what? Say, the availability of the data, the relevancy of the data, and then the question is the say real data and fake data. We have to be very, very clear. Say you go to government agencies, a lot of data. Sometimes we call it cooked data, and people create. Government always try to cook up data to show their performance. And in reality, when you do some field research work, and then you have your own problem, whatever, and then you get in aggregate form. So when we aggregate something, then 1 plus 2 plus 3, and at one stage equal to 10, and 10 we get, but how it becomes 10, and that is hidden. They don't like to say, hey, how do you say 10? Tell us. And that aggregation is the crux of the problem. And with this aggregation, we cannot give justice to Sustainable Development Goal studies. Geographers are well positioned to contribute to the discussion of post-2015 development agenda, and some have begun to engage in the context of SDG 4, health-related issues, and SDG 11, sustainable cities. And these two actually, when you look for some international literature, when you Google it, and then probably few articles and few publications are connected with the SDG 4 and SDG 11. So that is based on his survey and analysis. So these two areas, and many geographers work, of course, in urban geography, urban development. So therefore, sustainable development of cities is one of the issues and people have addressed. Geographers can work within the system by recommending indicators, methods, and strategies for assessing and supporting progress towards SDGs. This is our strength. This is the area that we have to focus. And then geographers can offer understanding of scale, statistics, spatial analysis. When you say scale like micro level, meso level, and then say macro level. This is the scale of operation. And even we can go, say, in a practical terms. So we do at the local level, maybe village level and Panchayat Samit level, that is local level, and even district to some extent, but our district is too big to compare with the districts, for example, in the Southeast Asian region. So smaller is better, small is beautiful, because we know and we can understand the issues, problems, potentials in a much better way than this. And then the question is, say, promoting geography for sustainable say development, and what are the ways that we can promote. And then Koji Fu, in his recent article 2020, he has explained and summarized geography naturally links with sustainability science with its, say, transdisciplinary perspective. That's what I mentioned, that geography discipline by its nature interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary, but it has gone beyond the boundaries of disciplinary and linked with many other disciplines. So therefore, it is transdisciplinary perspective. It is there, but we have to uncover. We have to see where we can work. And current geographical knowledge is inadequate to answer scientific questions in sustainability science. This is really true. And geographical process and ecosystem service linking natural and social elements are very basic research areas. And here we can contribute. And mechanisms in human environmental system and sustainable development are frontier research areas for geographers. And geodata and models of sustainability is a fundamental tool to support those key research areas. And when you say geodata, meaning GIS and remote sensing, are very, very essential, and that is where our strength lies. And we have to use those kind of tools and techniques, and linking with the database availability of data, reliability of data is a big thing. And this is where we can stand. This is very, very important. So GIS and remote sensing are used by many different say, professionals, but this is very basic and vital to geographers, because ours is the spatial science, and we are very much clear about the locational attributes, network attributes, and also the aerial attributes. And then we link our databases into those kind of format, and then we can combine and aggregate in any way we like. And therefore, our geodatabase like village level information system, Panchayat Samiti information system, block level information system, district information system. If we can say energize in principle, that is the duty of the government to see that how to ensure and enrich the database system at the different levels, and that is used for development say practices, and then we have to move from development to sustainable development. So these are the promoting geography for sustainability, meaning say Boji has rightly identified and our strength. You can say the potential and strength of geographers where we can work, and then how we can say expanding the scope of geography with additional knowledge system. This is very very important, and whatever say within geography, actually we have say plenty of knowledge system within it if you try to link with the different branches of our subject geography. But say we have to go beyond, like there are many places you'll find very specialized program. Geographers are very much say encouraged, and their qualification matches for further studies. And if we want to give justice, then geography plus natural resource management, this is the key area, the strength area. Then we as geographers, as teachers, researchers, we have to say infuse in the minds of our students, hey, this is one area and you may have a good career perspective, and this is how you can link and address these are the say goals and sustainability issues and in career perspective. So this is one area. Then geography plus population studies. So whatever I have added we have, but we have to make a combination. Geography plus rural regional planning, and geographers the geography education is very much linked and well accepted in the West, also in our country, and say students say having background in geography are say eligible for undertaking planning education, either urban regional planning or rural regional planning, so on and so forth. So therefore, these two in combination can strengthen us and do much more. Even in geography departments, we have also urban planning specialization. We have also a specialization like regional planning, and there students get introduced to the subject, but they don't have time to do really in-depth work. Maybe later stage and some orientation to be created. So geography plus urban regional planning, urban environmental management. This is the key area when you talk about to smart sustainable cities. So the urban environmental management is very, very key. In addition to other factors, say explaining the smartness of the city. Geography plus development studies, another, and geography plus gender development, geography plus disaster management. And this is where I feel we have the strength to do a lot of things. And I myself, you know, say after joining AIT in the field of development group, then I was asked to launch new programs. And myself, because of my some geography and climatology background at the undergraduate level, I could venture to take the leadership and created a new department. And it has, when I was there, it nourished well and now flourished well. And we have several say graduates working in international area and giving justice in the areas of say sustainable development. So this is a very key area, being a geographer, because we try to introduce the concept, meaning the flood, the cyclone, tsunami, the earthquake, the volcanic eruption. So everything in geography and geology. And then say our students are well exposed, they can easily understand. And when tsunami occurred, many people asked to me even, hey, what is that tsunami? So it is a new word for the common people, but not a new word for the geographers. So therefore, this is one strong area, and geography plus climate change, and also, and then geography plus RSGIS. If we have to expand the scope of geography and try to make ourselves really very, very say, professional and well trained in that direction, probably we can do that. So these are some of my say viewpoints under this, and I have given you some key websites and resources that you can say check. And you can also add a lot of references available. I do not use all of them, but I try to say collect and synthesize and try to make a presentation for the benefit of all of us. So thank you very much. So though I faced initially the problem of internet, I do not know how much my voice is clear and audible. And thank you very much for your support and invitation. And I must thank the organizers and Professor Jana, who really involved me in this kind of say international say webinar. And I don't know how much time you have for discussion, but say my email ID is there, so anybody wants to interact with me later, and please feel free and interact with me through my email, and I'll try to respond. Certainly, I'll try to respond. So thank you all. Thank you. So I stop here and I finished my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Uh, Thank you, Professor Rautre. Your presentation on HDC was very well presented, and we got knowledge on that. And you presented the HDC with the perspective of geography. And we rarely, one word I have seen, heard before, like geography is a mother of all sciences, but expert of none. People says that. Sorry, because I'm saying this one. But now the last slide of yours,
You are
it
true. You
shows
are
that.
true. But we have to project ourselves.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And now, from your last slide, we got to know that it has linkages to every sciences, almost every sciences, especially disaster management, climate change, GIS, and remote sensing, and everything, which is the current topic, very hot topic nowadays in the science. Thank you, sir. Now, the panel is open for discussion. Anyone have any question? I request Professor Rautre sir and Professor Jana sir to respond them. Participants, any question, please?
Any observation that would be better instead of question. Any observation or suggestion or any viewpoint on our presentations. That will be like a message from your end, and we'll take it up and try to see what else that we can do.
Yeah, any observation, clarification are most welcome.
Someone has raised their hands.
Yeah, Ahmed had left the meeting, but
Oh,
that,
I think no one has any question or any observation.
Please circulate our presentation to all. There is no problem, and maybe once they go through, and if they have anything, and in terms of research, for example, and if somebody is working and need our assistance, and I will be happy to support very much, and without any cost, So anybody writes and try to move in one particular direction and to conducting or writing a even research proposal, and say I'll be very happy to support. No problem.
Please, participants. Sir, they are asking for PPT. We have already said that PPT will be provided.
to share the share PPT, because this has been recorded now. So lecture some recorded now. Then you can get the lecture question or clarification, observation from the participant? Then, uh, Devi, you can conclude.
Okay, sir. I think Jayant Kumar Das is live. He has video. Oh no. I think no one has any questions, sir.
Clarification of the question.
Okay, sir. I think we should close this panel discussion. Is it okay, sir?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's no questions, I think.
No, sir.
You know.
Yes, sir. Sir, just for some information to get, I want to get some information from Rautri sir as well as Jana sir also. Actually, my PhD thesis work is on climate change assessment in the Eastern Himalaya part. As you said that geography has many different portions like sections to study. So my PhD thesis is divided into two parts. Like first part is it's on climate change assessment on the snow cover, uh, some part of climate there, temperature and precipitation change, snowmelt runoff, and then the second part is on the tourism part, tourism section, impact of climate change on tourism. So I'm currently about to finish my PhD work. So possibly I'll be waiting for like not waiting. Actually, I will be trying for postdoctoral fellowship also. Sir, please help me in this. How can I apply? Like, should I go? Whether there is an institution which looks on both sides, or should I go for one side only? Like for the tourism part, which is something related to socio-economic, or is it? Should I move to this physical part?
Okay, so my first immediate response, because I have not read your proposal and whatever said,
Mm-hmm.
my first response is like this. And anybody conducting research relating to, say, climate change, first thing is your study area. You have to position your study area in a way that it is really, say, under the influence of climate change. And how you
Okay,
do it, we have some national studies, research-based studies, say, Government of India documents, state level documents. So positioning the study area and justifying that it is really under the influence of climate change. Say, climate change, if you see, it is not, say, impacting uniformly everywhere. Some areas are still free from those kind of climate change. They are, say, in a process of, say everything normal situation and not much deviation. So please, first in the thesis, you have to establish that, okay, this is the area based on the studies of others, based on different scientific documents and reports, and this is the current status. Yes, very severely under the influence of climate change or this and that. And these are all studies conducted by others. And if you have access to the data system, local study area data system, and whatever indicators that you have chosen in physical terms, then probably better. And you have to analyze and supplement and complement to the statement that really it is an area under the influence of climate change. So that should be the starting point. And then I think your major work will be, because that will be the impact on tourism. So then when you talk about that climate change impact, and then you have to be very, very, say careful. So and you are talking not socio-economic impacts. You are, say, mentioning about tourism impact. So what are the potential impacts? So you have to have a, say metrics, potential, say, change metrics. So again, from the literature available. So under climate change scenario, what are the potential, say, impacts that is going to impact on the tourist from tourist point of view, their needs point of view, and then from there, that is like your conceptual framework. From there, you go and examine in the field level, and then do some in-depth analysis and draw some conclusions. So your major part, in short, will be, say climate change impact on tourism, and the other part is the supporting justification and scientific base that you are justifying. Really, my study area is under the influence of climate change. So that is what I can say. Your contribution will be the second part, not in the first part.
Yes, sir. So, is there a particular university who studies in both the aspect in one department?
You can find there are many. Say that is the only answer is you have to Google it, and
Yes.
sometimes when you Google it and just go for scientific journal articles, scientific journal articles like say climate change impacts on tourism. Very simple, and then you will have many things easily accessible, and many things you get the abstract with the name of the contributors and authors, and with their say mailing address. This is a very common practice, and whatever, because you are
Yes,
in
sir.
college may not be subscribing all those say scientific or journal databases that you have easy access, but when you Google it, certainly you will get the abstract, not the full paper. Many of them available full free, and then you can request, sir, I need your article. So they will be happy to send it, and then you can also have a list of universities and the scholars working in that area. Easy way to do it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So, I think no other questions from participants. We are closing the panel discussion, and now I would like to request Dr. Hahiram Lahkar, HOD Department of Geography, Morigaon College, for vote of thanks. Sir, please. Lahkar, sir, please. There is an unmute.
A very good afternoon to all attending the webinar. I, on behalf of our department and the college, deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this special occasion. I would like to take the opportunity to express our hearty thanks to our guest, to the webinar, Dr. Jant Kumar Trey, Professor, Materials, Regional Development, Digital Management, Institute of Technology, Bangkok, Thailand. Professor Rodriguez has benefited us all highly with his informative and resourceful speech on sustainable development goals. I extend my sincere thanks to our special guest, Dr. Narayan Jana, Professor, Department of Geography, the University of Morigaon, West Bengal. Professor Narayan sir, despite his busy schedule, has found time to present his web. His speech has been full of information and knowledge. We have worked immensely benefited with his speech. My heartful thanks go to Professor Bolida, though he could not present in this seminar, but his contribution and inspiration is always rememberable. So I am thankful for him. I am grateful to our principal, Dr. L.K. Bortko, for his vision, inspiration, guidance. My special thanks go to the faculty members of my department, the college, for their continued support, valuable contribution for making the webinar a grand success. I appreciate for the Guldas, our commission person, Professor Guldas, of his sincere words. I am thankful to the alumni of the department who have been with us all the time and who have played a vital role in making the webinar as successful. I thank to all the participants who have attended the webinar and made it responding success. I am thankful to the Dr. Bimal Sharma, who has joined from Australia, and I'm thankful to the students who have participated and they success. They attend their attention and their responding our seminar. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we can declare the today's event to be closed. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bimal sir. Thank you, Raute sir.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, Jana
much.
sir. Mainu Goswami ma'am, Lokar sir, and Sharma sir already. And everyone who is present, Jayanta Kumar Das, I think he was taking the technical part. He was seeing over it. Thank you, everyone. Now we can declare the closing part of this event. Thank you. Signing off, Juna Prabhadevi.
Thank you, organizers.
Thank you, Juna. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Rathi sir and
Thank
Jana
you,
sir.
Pranab Jha.
Yeah.
See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. 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 Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir.